The scene opens outdoors, set against a backdrop of lush greenery, suggesting a park or school grounds. Two young women are standing together, both possessing striking features and long flowing hair. One, with lighter auburn hair styled in a ponytail, holds a sleek phone, her expression a mix of surprise and curiosity. She addresses her companion, the one with vibrant pink hair, with a question. "Kaka, who's that?" Her words, presented in a speech bubble, suggest she has just received an unexpected message or notification. The focus shifts to the pink-haired woman's phone, which displays a screen indicating an incoming call. The text on the phone is bold and clear. Strange number. Below the number's placeholder is a prompt. Slide to answer. This is clearly a phone call from an unknown party. However, before she answers or addresses her friend's question, a thought bubble emerges from her side, containing her internal monologue. "Xiang, I am busy a bit." This suggests the caller is Xiang, and the pink-haired woman, despite the urgency of her friend's question and the strange number, is preoccupied or perhaps trying to avoid the call. The tension is immediately established. Is the strange number related to Xiang, or is this an entirely new problem? The pink-haired woman is then shown, now holding the phone to her ear, having seemingly answered the call. Her face is etched with shock and a hint of fear or deep concern. Her hand instinctively clutches at the bow of her necktie. A speech bubble above her head contains a fragmented whisper, as if she is barely processing the information she's receiving. "Mr. Bei Ming." An emphatic, starburst-shaped thought bubble immediately follows, revealing the stunning implication of the call's content. He has returned. This dialogue confirms the caller is relaying momentous news about a significant person named Mr. Bei Ming, news that has clearly unsettled her deeply. The transition from a strange number to the identity of the person on the other end, or the subject of the conversation, has been dramatic. A close-up shot then focuses on the conversation itself. The image centers on a person's cheek and ear, highlighting the seriousness of the call. The person's hand holds the dark smartphone with the in-call screen visible, showing various function icons like microphone, keypad, and speaker. The details are muted, keeping the focus entirely on the act of communication and the intensity of the moment. Finally, the focus shifts to a sophisticated man, presumably Mr. Bei Ming, or someone reporting to him, who is now actively engaged in a phone conversation from the luxury of a car. He is impeccably dressed in a dark suit, tie, and vest, projecting an image of power and urgency. Through the window, the faint background suggests an outdoor setting, likely the school mentioned in his dialogue. His speech bubble is clipped and demanding, giving an order with absolute authority. "I'm at the back gate of school, still the same place. I give you 5 minutes." This final panel connects the mystery call to the ultimate conclusion. The pink-haired woman's life is about to be drastically interrupted by this powerful figure who has returned and is now demanding her immediate presence. The clock is ticking. The mysterious man's urgent command spurred the pink-haired woman into action. The panel focuses on her quick movement toward the waiting vehicle. Her back is to the viewer, showing her distinctive long pink hair flowing behind her as she leans toward a pristine white car, suggesting she is either reaching for the handle or peeking inside. The blurred background hints at the school's setting, confirming the meeting place. With palpable urgency, the scene cuts to her hurried steps. Only her legs and the lower half of the car are visible, emphasizing the speed of her arrival. She is wearing a dark skirt and heels, her foot already poised near the car's door handle, clearly ready to enter the vehicle as quickly as possible. She reaches the car and finds the door open. Inside, sitting comfortably and commandingly, is the man identified as Mr. Bei Ming. He reclined slightly on the beige leather seat, gazing at her with a knowing, almost predatory smirk. His expression is one of calm power, contrasting sharply with the woman's clear anxiety. Without preamble, he issues a stark, immediate instruction. "Come here." Standing outside the vehicle, the pink-haired woman faces Mr. Bei-ming, her expression distressed and desperate. She is visibly shaken, but tries to assert herself, finally giving voice to her intentions and the source of their conflict. "Mr. Bei-ming, I made it clear to you last time. I want to end the transaction. I will pay you tomorrow," she pleads, her voice tinged with finality. The simple text, "shake head," is placed next to her, amplifying her stance. She is refusing his presence and his demand, wanting only to conclude their business. However, Mr. Bei-ming is unyielding. His eyes narrow and the smirk is replaced by a look of stern, intense disapproval. Leaning forward slightly, he delivers his crushing reply, laying out the terms of their agreement in cold, hard terms. "Unpaid, still valid. Now you deny me, that means you violated the covenant." His words confirm the relationship is one of a binding contract or covenant that she attempted to end, and by refusing him now, she is committing a violation. The tension escalates dramatically as she realizes her efforts to escape their transaction have failed. Realizing she cannot reason with him, the woman makes a last-ditch attempt to evade his control. Looking away from him, she insists she will not enter the vehicle, demanding he speak to her immediately. "I won't get in the car. You can say right now." This defiance pushes Mr. Bei-ming to drop all pretense of negotiation. He steps out of the car and confronts her physically. With a swift movement, he shoves her, the sound effect push accompanying his forceful action. Her face contorts in a cry of surprise and alarm, "Ah!" as she is pushed toward the open car door. The visual narrative then captures the consequence of his force. A close-up shot of the car door shows it being slammed shut with decisive finality, emphasized by the word "close" and a sharp starburst visual effect, trapping her inside. Now imprisoned, the woman's panic reaches a peak. Pressed against the glass of the car window, her hands splayed wide, she shouts for release, her face a mask of desperation. "Open! I want to go out!" The word "bop, bop" is repeated, likely the sound of her pounding frantically on the window, highlighting her failed attempt to escape. The final image confirms her capture as the car speeds away from the school gates. The vehicle is a blur of motion, streaking down the road, its speed indicated by sharp lines trailing behind it. The surrounding trees and pavement are also blurred, emphasizing the rapid, forceful departure from the scene, signaling that the confrontation is over and Mr. Bei-ming has successfully taken her away. Once the initial panic subsides, the woman is seen seated inside the moving vehicle, her expression shifting to one of determined worry. She holds her phone, her inner thoughts displayed in the thought bubble. "I have to find someone to save me." She begins to examine her phone, looking for a way out. Mr. Bei-ming, seated beside her, observes her attempts with amusement and a sense of dominance. As she holds her phone, a playful yet menacing thought bubble emerges from him. "This phone seems to be very sturdy. Should I try throwing it to test?" This suggests he is well aware of her attempts to seek help and is toying with her, threatening to take away her only means of communication. She whirls on him, confronting him directly with anger and resistance. "Bei-ming, you are not allowed to do that." The use of his full name and the stern tone underscores her defiance, despite their unequal power dynamic. His response is a cold warning, immediately putting her back in her place. "Do not look at me with that eyes. When the transaction is still valid, you should know if I am angry, then what will be the consequences?" He reasserts his control through fear, reminding her of the potential severe repercussions of angering him while she is still bound by their transaction. He then shifts his tone to a manipulative form of familiarity, extending a hand toward her shoulder, in a gesture that is both intimate and controlling. "Long time no see. Come close. Let me hug you. I want to see if you are thin or not," he says, feigning concern. The woman shrinks away from the unwanted advance, her attention still on her escape plan. "I want to go back to school," she says, completely rejecting his forced affection and returning to her single desire for freedom. In the second frame, we see the man's hand reaching out, his demeanor one of playful insistence, or perhaps a gentle reminder of their current circumstances. The man's hand is seen in a gesture towards her, his words carrying a note of disbelief or playful annoyance. He reminds her of a previous agreement or arrangement, saying, "I remember that you're on summer vacation." His tone implies that her desire to work is completely unnecessary, or even an act of defiance against his wishes. The pink-haired young woman, gripping her phone tightly, meets the gaze of her companion with a mixture of frustration and resolve. Her brow is furrowed, and her red eyes are flashing, signaling her serious intent as she states plainly, "I still have to work." The man to her right, dressed impeccably in a dark suit, clearly disagrees with her priorities, or perhaps just wishes to spend time with her. The man continues his argument, cutting off her excuse with a more forceful assertion in the third frame. Interrupting her previous protest about working, his voice, though only represented by a text bubble, carries a definitive authority. His argument is simple and final, overriding her business concerns with a personal command, but now it's break time. This clearly indicates he intends to sweep her away from her responsibilities and into leisure. This bold assertion finally provokes a full, exasperated reaction from the young woman, revealing her name and the dynamic of their relationship in the fourth frame. At this point, the entire scene of the two characters is visible. Her companion is revealed to be a strikingly handsome man with dark, swept-back hair and a confident, almost arrogant smile. His easygoing nature contrasts sharply with the woman's obvious stress. Her patience finally snaps, and she bursts out with an accusation, naming him directly. "Bei Mingye, you were so unruly." Her outburst is a clear sign that this man's overbearing, yet charming nature is a persistent theme in their interactions. Unmoved by her frustration, the man responds with a pointed, almost rhetorical question in the fifth frame, suggesting that her rebellious streak is a new development. Taking her outburst in stride, he leans in slightly, his expression remaining cool and slightly challenging. His statement is layered, suggesting that her newfound boldness, her unruliness, is the result of the time she has spent in the company of someone else, perhaps a rival or a bad influence. He challenges her, saying, "Follow Mutsi Kin for a time. It seems your liver has gone back and a lot bigger, huh?" This final comment implies she's becoming too brave or audacious, directly linking her current behavior to a third party. The scene opens with a close-up of their faces in the first frame, creating a moment of charged silence and dramatic tension. The man, Bei Mingye, leans in close, his gaze intense and scrutinizing, while the woman stares back, her expression a mix of surprise and apprehension. The proximity is jarring, cutting through her defenses as he prepares to deliver a serious challenge. In the second frame, the man delivers a biting accusation, questioning the very nature of her personality and their past interactions. Bei Mingye continues to press her, his voice heavy with doubt and suspicion. He challenges her current display of defiance, suggesting it is not a recent development caused by a third party, but rather a latent part of her character that she has hidden from him. He asks, "Or your personality is inherently so? Obediently and obeying in front of me is just a disguise?" His words accuse her of intentional deception, suggesting their previous relationship was based on a false pretense of meekness. The woman, pushed to her limit by his aggressive approach and insinuation, tries desperately to push him away in the third frame. As Bae Ming-ye closes the distance, she physically resists his advance. The command, push, highlights her action as she places her hands firmly on his chest to keep him away. Her desperation is palpable as she shouts a frantic rejection of his intimacy and control. "Don't come here. I said I would pay you. I don't want to be with you. Avoid out." Her words reveal a transactional element to their relationship, which she is now trying desperately to enforce as a barrier against his advances. The man is clearly wounded by her rejection, but he shifts the argument, bringing up the third party, Muzi Jin, once more in the fourth frame. Though her words clearly cut him, Bae Ming-ye refuses to back down. He attempts to reframe the argument, shifting the focus back onto her past relationship and directly comparing it to her behavior now. He first asks, "When you were with Muzi Chin, were you opposed as now?" Then he lays bare his deepest grievance and sense of betrayal with a profound rhetorical question. "My woman is have relation to my friend. If you were me, what would you do? Say it." His confession reveals the true source of his frustration, a mixture of possessiveness and hurt over her previous relationship with his friend. In the final frame, the woman's response is an emotional and final rejection of his possessiveness, asserting her independence in a burst of raw emotion. Finally, the pink-haired woman's face is shown in close-up, her tears welling in her eyes, her lips parted in distress. Her voice is filled with anguish and defiance, cutting through his claim of ownership. She shouts the ultimate statement of boundary and autonomy. "I am not your woman." This powerful declaration rejects both his immediate advances and the fundamental basis of his control over her. In the sixth frame, Bae Ming-ye seizes her face, forcing her to look at him and challenges her declaration based on their history. Bae Ming-ye grabs her chin, compelling her gaze with his own intense stare. He scoffs at her denial, his possessiveness undeterred. He throws her past words and actions back at her, asking, "With the relationship between us, you still dare to say you're not my woman?" The argument then switches in the seventh frame as he introduces a new, pointed speculation about her anger and the rival. Instead of reacting to her emotional outburst, he redirects the conflict, attempting to rationalize her defiance as a reaction to him. He posits a new theory, linking her actions back to Muzi Kin. "So, does that mean you are angry with me, so you decided to come to Muzi Kin?" She immediately counters his attempt to control the narrative, once again denying his right to claim her. "All are you forced to me? I have never agreed to be your woman." The scene culminates in the final frame with a final intimate invasion of her space, bringing a sexualized edge to the power struggle. Ignoring her vehement protest, Bae Ming-ye moves past her words and into physical territory. The word caress highlights his action as his hand moves to her neck and shoulder. His voice drops to an intimate yet cruel comparison as he uses his actions to fuel his possessive jealousy. "Does he treat you well? Did he touch you the way I am doing?"